Leroy Brandy appointed top cop and national consultation on the economy held in St. Kitts. Regionally, earthquake rattles 3 Caribbean islands. Internationally, Turkey launches offensive in northern Syria with airstrikes. And in sporting news, NBA boss Adam Silver defends freedom of speech amid China row. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this short break.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back and on to our national news segment. Mr. Leroy Brandy has been officially appointed as Commissioner of Police of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. According to a release from the police force, the Governor General Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton accepted the recommendation of the Public Service Commission to appoint Mr. Brandy as Commissioner of Police. His appointment took effect from June 1, 2019. Commissioner Brandy had been acting Commissioner of Police since October 2018 after retired Commissioner Ian M. Queally proceeded on leave. Earlier this year, however, retired Commissioner of Police Queally left the force to become the very first ambassador of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States OECS to the Kingdom of Morocco. Commissioner Brandy has 38 years of experience in safety and security. He enlisted as a police officer in the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force in 1981. He spent 23 years in the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, which he eventually headed. In 2010, Commissioner Brandy became the divisional commander responsible for Division C. From there, he was appointed Deputy Commissioner in 2016. Deputy Political Leader of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party SKNLP, the Honorable Marcella Liburd, will be the guest speaker at the annual conference of the St. Lucia Labour Party SLP. The former Cabinet Minister, former Deputy Speaker and Speaker of the National Assembly of St. Kitts and Nevis has served in ministerial positions including Acting Prime Minister. Member of Parliament MP Liburd was invited to address officials, delegates and invited guests at the annual conference of delegates. Political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, is expected to use this year's political leaders' address to rally Labour supporters to continue the important work in preparation for the next general elections. General elections in St. Lucia are constitutionally due by 2021. The open session of the conference will be held on Sunday, 13th October at the Stanley J. Odlum Secondary School, and the closed session will follow on Sunday, 20th October. Minister of Posts on Nevis, the Honorable Spencer Brand, delivered an address on October 9th, 2019 in celebration of World Post Day 50. During his address, he reflected on the various activities in Nevis to mark the occasion. These included a march by the Nevis Post Office staff, the Permanent Secretary, Assistant Secretary, and administrative staff from his ministry on Friday, 27 September 2019, from the El Camino Tibulit Park to the Nevis Post Office through Charlestown, and a Thanksgiving service on Sunday, 29 September 2019 at the Zion Chapel in Gingerland with the Post Office management and staff. According to UN.org, World Post Day is celebrated each year on the 9th of October, the anniversary of the establishment of the Universal Postal Union in 1874 in the Swiss capital Bern. It was declared World Post Day by the UPU Congress held in Tokyo, Japan in 1969. Since then, countries across the world participate annually in the celebrations. The Post in many countries use the event to introduce or promote new postal products and services. Meanwhile, Federal Minister with responsibility for Post, the Honorable Ian Patches Liburd, has reaffirmed that the postal services in St. Kitts and Nevis will remain resilient. Minister Liburd noted during a national radio and television address to commemorate the occasion that the National Post Office and disclosed that a series of activities will be held throughout the month centered on the initiative called Be Part of Our Conversation. It is designed to gather information about the current status of the postal services. The initiative is designed to gather information about the current status of the postal services. It takes the form of live discussions and surveys. Additionally, a series called Know Your Postmen and Postladies will help residents to become familiar with post workers in their area. The local theme for this year's observance is Review, Recognize, Reinvent. Advancing social justice, promoting decent work. That is the theme for the 100th anniversary of the establishment of the International Labour Organization, ILO. According to ILO.org, the organization is, and I quote, the only tripartite UN agency. The ILO brings together governments, employers, and workers of 187 member states to set labor standards, develop policies, and devise programs promoting decent work for all women and men, end quote. St. Kitts and Nevis will celebrate establishment of the International Labour Organization, ILO, along with the rest of the world with several activities next week. The first activity will be an ILO centenary anniversary Thanksgiving service at the Wesleyan Holiness Church on Tuesday, 15th October. 2 days later, Thursday, 17th October, the third annual National Conference on Labor will be held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. A cocktail reception will also be held next Thursday at Government House to mark the anniversary celebration. St. Kitts and Nevis boasts a productive relationship with the ILO, having received assistance over the past 5 years in drafting labor code, as well as introducing a national labor conference and appointing a national tripartite committee. Finally, in our national news segment, working together to prevent suicide. That's the theme for this year's observance of World Health Day. According to mentalhealth.org.uk, World Mental Health Day is observed on October 10th every year with the overall objective of raising awareness of mental health issues around the world and mobilizing efforts in support of mental health. The day provides an opportunity for all stakeholders working on mental health issues to talk about their work and what more needs to be done to make mental health care a reality for people worldwide. Minister of State with responsibility for health in St. Kitts, Senator the Honorable Wendy Phipps.
As our country contemplates issues of mental health and wellness this week, the Ministry of Health wishes that every citizen and resident take the following facts into account. Mental illness is no respecter of persons. It can happen to anyone as the condition transcends gender, social and employment status, age, geographic location, income level, religious or political affiliation. Overall health is defined by the WHO as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. When there is imbalance in this equation, ill health can result.
She also stated that St. Kitts and Nevis treats mental illness.
Our federation has had a strong history of treating mental disorders at the level of the community health centers, with the psychiatric wing of our main hospital being reserved for more serious cases. The investment in the establishment of the Dr. Arthur W. Lake Mental Health Day Treatment Center, which was opened in December 2016, is further testimony to the high emphasis which the Team Unity Administration places on mental health and wellness and the need for rehabilitation and reintegration.
That is Senator the Honorable Wendy Phipps. Finally, in our national news segment, the digital economy. That was the theme for the 2019 National Consultation on the Economy. Stakeholders from the public and private sectors and civil society convened at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort on Tuesday, 8th October to discuss the growth and transformation of the digital economy and its positive impact on business and society. Persons were able to learn more about the government's progress, policies, and new strategies, while discussions centered on ways to boost efficiencies, drive innovation, and develop creative solutions across multiple sectors. Financial Secretary is Hilary Hazel.
During the course of this year, the government has been occupied with the implementation of a wide variety of programs and projects, some of which were conceived and designed with prior input from you, our social and economic partners. Some of it were actually conceived in this very same room. We take time out every year to host these consultations because they have become an important part of the official budget calendar of the Ministry of Finance.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris also spoke at the forum.
The largest number of an employed person revealed itself over the last 4+ years. The highest level of wages paid in the economy occurred over the last 4+ years. It is a record of our success in managing the economy and giving our people an opportunity to participate. Lest we take these things for granted. They are outward signs of the success of the fiscal and economic management of our beautiful country.
That is Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. That concludes our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vaughanradio.com, or you can visit our social media page on Facebook at Vaughan Radio and our YouTube channel also at Vaughan Radio for these and other stories. News from across the region comes up next.
Life can be more fulfilling when we take the time out to smell the roses. And that's why your friends and family at the Bank of Nevis are experts at picking the flowers that best describe you. Whether you're planning to treat yourself after a long work week or finally getting around to that closet update, you deserve all the special things that life has to offer. And the Bond Visa card is here to help you achieve it. With just a swipe, you can turn a last-minute lunch date with friends and family into something worth remembering, with memories that will last a lifetime. Pampering yourself just got a whole lot easier. And after all, you deserve every refreshing moment of it. The ability to make your travel arrangements at your own convenience, whether by sea or by air, now rests within the palm of your hand. With a single swipe, the Bond Visa card can put a world of difference between life and truly living. Whereas the only limit you may have is your own imagination. Apply today. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back and on to our regional news segment. In news out of Barbados, an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.1 rattled 3 Caribbean islands early on Monday, but there have been no reports of injuries or damage. The Trinidad-based Seismic Research Center of the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies says. SRC said that the earthquake occurred at 6:23 a.m. local time and was felt in St. Lucia, Dominica, and the French island of Martinique. It said that the quake was located at latitude 14.61 north, longitude 60.43 west, and a depth of 20 kilometers. The quake was felt 72 kilometers east of Port-de-France, Martinique, 88 kilometers northeast of Castries, St. Lucia, and 131 kilometers south of Roseau, the Dominican capital. In news out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a man who hurled insults at a woman during a road rage incident in Sandy Bay has been ordered to pay her EC $5,000 in damages. Magistrate Bertie Pompey made the order at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Monday after hearing a complaint filed by Candy Thomas of Old Sandy Bay. Thomas's quick thinking resulted in documentation of the exchange when she told her 10-year-old daughter to record the incident on her mobile phone. The court heard that at about 7 p.m. on March 30th, Thomas was driving in Sandy Bay and had her daughter, another minor, and an adult in the vehicle. Thomas recalled the events to the court, leading to the incident wherein she told her daughter to take a photo. The woman said that after her daughter took the photo, Danford Roberts, aka 19, of Sand Hill, Sandy Bay, exited the van and went towards her vehicle where he hurled expletives at her. Thomas's lawyer, Samantha Robertson, asked the court to award her client EC $5,000 in compensation. Pompey ordered Roberts to pay $5,062, with EC $12 being for stamp duty and EC $50 as solicitor's fee. Finally, in our regional news segment, in news out of Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican neuroscientist Joel Acevedo Nieto was nominated among the first 100 young scientists in the world as part of the second edition of the Young Scientists Forum, an event held and organized by the World Laureates Association, an organization composed of prize-winning committee noble. That is an organization composed of a prize-winning committee noble in different categories. The entity convened recommendations of young scientists from 100 countries, of which there were 3,000 suggestions, and finally nominated 100 of them to participate in the forum to be held on Tuesday, 29th October 2019. Dr. Nieto submitted a case study conducted at Habukako Bilingual Academy in Ansaco, in which several children with learning disabilities were exposed to 2 months of cognitive training to improve the skills of paying attention in the classroom. The process was carried out with the tool created by Dr. Nieto called Sharp Focus VR, a virtual reality VR application that functions as a controlled, non-invasive space to train the focus skills. The project was based on studies on intentional eye movement and its simulation in the prefrontal cortex, a region associated with attention skills. That concludes our regional news segment. International news comes up next. Welcome back and on to our international news segment. Turkish warplanes have bombed parts of northern Syria at the start of an offensive which could lead to the conflict with Kurdish-led allies of the U.S. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said the operation was to create a safe zone clear of Turkish militia, which will also house Syrian refugees. Several locations were hit and at least 2 civilians died, the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Force SDF said. It vowed to resist any Turkish advance across the border. Amid growing humanitarian concerns, the SDF asked the U.S.-led coalition against the jihadist group Islamic State IS to establish a no-fly zone in the area to stop attacks on innocent people. The Kurds, key U.S. allies in defeating IS in Syria, guard thousands of IS fighters and their relatives in prisons and camps in areas under their control, and it is unclear whether they will continue to be safely detained. The offensive was launched just days after President Donald Trump controversially withdrew U.S. troops from the border area, a decision announced after a phone call with Mr. Erdogan that was widely condemned at home and abroad. In a statement, Mr. Trump, who had threatened to obliterate Turkey's economy if it went off limits in the incursion, said the U.S. did not endorse this attack and has made it clear to Turkey that this operation is a bad idea. The White House has officially refused to cooperate with the impeachment inquiry against President Donald Trump. A letter sent to Democratic leaders rejected it as baseless and constitutionally invalid. 3 Democrats-led House committees are investigating Mr. Trump. The inquiry is trying to find out if the president held back aid to Ukraine. The inquiry is trying to find out if the president held back aid to Ukraine to push it to investigate Joe Biden, who is running for the Democratic presidential nomination. The White House letter comes hours after the Trump administration blocked the U.S. ambassador to the European Union from appearing before a congressional impeachment investigation. White House counsel Pat Cipollone addressed the 8-page letter to the leading Democrat and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the 3 chairmen of the Democratic committees. He accused the leaders of setting up an inquiry that, and I quote, violates fundamental fairness and constitutionally mandated due process, end quote. The letter insisted that because Democrats did not hold a vote on launching impeachment proceedings in the House, the inquiry was constitutionally invalid. In more international news, at least 2 people have been killed in a shooting in the eastern German city of Halle, police say. 1 person was arrested, police said, but other suspects are believed to have fled the Paulus area in a vehicle. 1 gunman was wearing military camouflage and carrying several weapons, witnesses say. The BBC's Damien McGuinness reports.
According to some reports citing police sources, there were 2 perpetrators who allegedly tried to storm the synagogue. Shots were exchanged. Then another man later was shot in a kebab shop nearby. The scene is very chaotic, so it's unclear exactly what happened and why. But what we do know is that 2 people have been shot, 1 person has been arrested, and another person, according to reports citing police sources, is still on the run. What is not confirmed, though, is what the motivation behind this attack is. There is lots of speculation that this could be an anti-Semitic attack. Of course, it's Yom Kippur today, which adds to those speculations.
And finally, in our international news segment, 3 scientists have been awarded the 2019 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the development of lithium-ion batteries. John B. Goodenough, M. Stanley Whittingham, and Akira Yoshino share the prize for their work on these rechargeable devices, which are used for portable electronics. At the age of 97, Professor Goodenough is the oldest ever Nobel laureate. The trio will share the prize money of 9 million kroner, or £738,000. We have more in this BBC report.
Professor Whittingham was the first to harness the potential of lithium while working for the US oil company Exxon. Professor Goodenough made the technology more efficient, and Professor Yoshino made it safe to use. The batteries are now ubiquitous since they became commercially available in 1991. They've also helped to reduce dependence on electricity produced by fossil fuels, and with further research could help still further in efforts to combat climate change.
That concludes our international news segment. The latest in sports comes up next.
Hello? Joan, did you remember that pink is in at TDC Home and Building Depots?
It's that time again?
It sure is. This October, they have up to 75% off in their pink ribbon clearance sale. And don't forget, every October, TDC Home and Building Depots have free breast screenings every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And you can also support their Cook for the Cure barbecue events while you're there, you know. Plus, they have Pinktober specials all month long, so we can shop early and save.
So this October, think pink, think TDC Home and Building Depots?
That's right. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back and onto our sporting news segment. In some basketball news, the U.S. National Association NBA has defended free speech amid a row with China over a team executive's tweet in support of Hong Kong's protests. The tweet posted by Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Houston Rockets, caused uproar in China, and his attempt to backtrack upset American fans. but NBA boss Adam Silver defended Mr. Murray and said the league would support freedom of expression. NBA games draw huge viewership in China, mainly via streaming platforms. The Rockets have been popular ever since the team signed Chinese star Yao Ming in 2002. Mr. Yao now heads the Chinese Basketball Association, CBA. But Mr. Murray's tweet prompted a furious backlash in China, with broadcasters vowing to stop airing Rockets games. They went further on Tuesday by scrapping plans to broadcast 2 NBA preseason games being played in China. In football news, FIFA will stand firm in ensuring women have access to all football matches in Iran, despite claims the world governing body could have prevented the death of an activist. Women have effectively been banned from stadiums when men are playing since just after the 1979 Islamic Revolution. But FIFA said it has been assured by Iranian authorities that women will be able to attend matches. More than 3,500 tickets have been sold to female fans for Iran's World Cup qualifier against Cambodia in Tehran on Thursday. The issue came to global prominence after Sahar Kadoria, known as the Blue Girl because of the team she supported, set fire to herself outside court last month as she awaited trial for trying to attend a match disguised as a man. The 29-year-old died a week later. In some cricket news, Ben Stokes' wife, Claire, has denied nonsense allegations the couple had a physical altercation at an awards ceremony on October 2nd. Pictures published on Tuesday appeared to show the England player with his hand on her face at the Professional Cricketers Association Awards. "Unbelievable what nonsense these people will make up," she said. The England and Wales Cricket Board said it was satisfied that there was an innocent context to the images. All-rounder Stokes, 28, was named PCA Player of the Year at the ceremony after helping England win the World Cup for the first time and hitting a remarkable unbeaten 135 to win the 3rd Ashes Test against Australia at Headingley. Photographs published at the Guy de Fawkes website appear to show the England player with his hand on his wife's face at the event at the Roundhouse in Camden. That is in Camden. In response, Claire Stokes posted on Twitter, and I quote, "Me and Ben messing about squishing up each other's face, 'cause that's how we show affection, and some pap tries to twist it in a crazy story," end quote. Ben Stokes also later issued a response saying that the way that this has come across is so far removed from what it was. Finally, in our sporting news segment, in some tennis news, world number 1 Novak Djokovic continued his fine form with a straight set win over Canadian Denis Shapovalov at the Shanghai Masters. Serbia's 16-time Grand Slam champion won the Japan Open last week without dropping a set, cruised to 6-3, 6-3 second-round victory. Defending champion Djokovic, 32, will play American John Isner next week. Isner, 34, hit 19 aces and lost only 6 points on his first serve in a 7-5, 6-3 win over France's Lucas Pouille. That concludes our sporting news segment. The latest weather forecast comes up next. And your weather for tonight reads mostly clear. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a 20% or slight chance of showers. The winds are east at 8 to 15 knots or 15 to 28 kilometers per hour. Your seas are 1.5 meters or 5 feet. Sunrise for tomorrow will be at 2 minutes after the 6 o'clock hour. That's the latest weather, ending the VON Major News Package. But before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, Mr. Hilliard Brandy appointed as top cop, and national consultation on the economy held in St. Kitts. Regionally, earthquake rattles 3 Caribbean islands. Internationally, Turkey launches offensive in northern Syria with airstrikes. And in sports, NBA boss Adam Silver defends freedom of speech amid China row. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Marvin Ross, wishing you a pleasant evening.